Hey, this is Brant with Vintage Statements, and today we've got a lot of these old wood that's missing a bottom. So we're going to add some wood to them and turn them into some cool vintage looking boxes. So follow along. Alright, in a previous video what we did was we made a wine cabinet out of an antique wardrobe cabinet that was missing all the drawers and things like that. And well, we had full-size drawers that we built and made to fit that, but we had to cut off a portion of them, and that left the backside of the boxes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn these boxes into little boxes with a bottom, and then we'll put some cool vintage stuff on them, give them a cool look, so we don't have to throw them away. Good wood. So what we're going to do is we've got 6 of them total. Probably see my supervisor working just as hard as anybody else around here. So we got these old boxes. We're going to take 2 of them apart. We're going to use the sides here. We're going to pull those off, and we're going to stick them in the middle of there, glue them in, and overnight let it dry, and we'll have our bases. Not much to this project, but then what we'll do is we're going to create some cool signage here to paint on them, and then from there we'll scuff them up, give them a cool vintage look, and go from there. So we'll do a couple different versions of it, see what we like, and well, seems like a pretty easy project. What we're gonna do, move all the nails from this side to side, and then we'll glue them in. We'll have to cut them a little bit here because they're gonna be a little bit long. So let's get started. Alright, now that we got them apart, we've got these pieces that we need. The ends we don't have any use for right now, but I'm going to keep them. They're cool little pieces of wood. Maybe we can make something out of them later down. So, they're a little bit long. When we put them under here, they would stick out underneath and make this not as good. So what we're going to do is cut off a little bit so they'll slide in here, sit nice, and then we'll glue them in. So I put them under it, edged it up, and I had a pencil. Most of you know what I'm talking about. You can't ever find your pencil once you set it down. So, oh, here it is. So what we're going to do is mark them. Line them up, mark them, and cut them up. So I've already got one. We're going to test it, see how it works, and if it looks good, works good, we'll continue for the other 3. Alright, got them cut, got them stuck in here. I'm just going to push them out. I'm going to put some glue on the ends, on the edges here, and on the edges of the board. I'm going to push it back in. They're pretty snug, so we won't have to clamp anything down, and we'll let those dry, and then we can start on creating some cool logos or something on here to give it a vintage feel. So let's get started. Alright, so now what we're going to do is take this project inside. We printed off some pictures here, so you can kind of see what we're doing here. A little record player. Now what we're going to do is Mod Podge this on. I've got a form of Mod Podge right here. I've got a knife. So what we're going to do is basically this. I'm going to spread it on there. I'm going to use just an old credit card and smear it so it gets flat on there. Let it dry, and we'll peel the tape or the paper off, and then that should leave the image left over it, and then we're gonna scuff it up, give it a vintage look. It'll look pretty cool at the end. So let's run through one, and then you'll have it from there, right? Maybe I'll have it after one. All right, let's give it a try. I'm actually going to maybe start with this one. The picture's much bigger than the box, so we're gonna break it down a little bit here. I know I want most of the base of it here, so I'm gonna make sure that's good. I'm gonna find out a good line here, right here. So I just made a little mark in the paper. Maybe see that crease. Then I'm gonna come back so my line is straight across, and then fold the paper there. So what that'll do is allow me to line it up over the edge here. So when I put it on, it'll be equal, then I can smear the Mod Podge out. So let's get to it. Alright, they dried overnight. We're back outside. And what I did was I took 2 of the pieces of paper off and started the process of removing it just to see how it would look. Now, it's my first time doing it. It didn't come out well. It might be the roughness of the wood. It might have been the Mod Podge was old. But I think more than anything, I used cheap paper. Typically you would use a printer quality. What I was thinking was if I just used the cheap, just normal paper, it would come off a little bit easier, and the vintage look would just apply a lot more to it. It'd be more flat and less glossy and less defined, and then I would have less sanding to do. Well, it didn't work out as well. I know this would work a lot better on a flat, smooth piece of wood, but these old wood just didn't work. So here's what happened to my turntable with the legs. You can barely see the recorder, so we'll have to sand that one off. Now, really can't see it very well, but that was the recorder, the vinyl player, record player. Didn't come out very well. We got 2 more. Hopefully we can get one out of it that came out well. What we'll do is we'll just sand these down. Hey, it was worth the try, right? So let's give it a shot on these 2. What we're doing, we're just removing the excess paper off. And then we're gonna wipe this down, and the paper comes off pretty well. So, got a bucket of water, old rag, and we just get it wet and start letting it come off. Alright, I tried sanding it, I tried waxing it, and it didn't save it, as you can see. I don't know if you can see in the video or not, but this is supposed to be corks, and that's supposed to be a Volkswagen bus. I tried, I failed. I do a lot of beautiful pieces, and people always say that they're really nice, but I never really show the failed things that I've done. And I make mistakes all the time. Well, let's not say that, my wife might be listening, so I've made a mistake once or twice. But here it is. It's a mistake. I learned a lot from it. It didn't really cost me anything. Next time, I'll sand the wood. I will use a better quality paper, which should adhere and move the ink over to the other pretty nicely. So, we learned a lot. Supervisor's not too happy with me, but I'll get to another project. We'll do a better piece, and we'll grow from this. So, don't feel bad if you make mistakes. Pinterest isn't always the easiest thing to do, so till next time, like us on Facebook, Instagram, leave us a comment or two, and well, you may see these boxes again. I'll sand this off and we'll try something different.